Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, he's calling to end Trump's national energy emergency. Trump's former Energy Secretary Dan Brouillette joins me now. All right, Mr. Secretary, I'm told that if we end the energy emergency, the nat gas industry takes a huge hit. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think so, Stuart. I'm not quite sure what Senator Kaine is up to. It sounds like sheer silliness to me. Look, Stuart, the challenge we have in America today is building infrastructure. It's building things like pipelines to get natural gas where it needs to be. And what we're seeing now in the marketplace is that, on average, for the smallest of projects, it can take 3 to 5 years just to get the permit, not to build the project, just to get the permit to move forward to build a project. That's unacceptable. When we look at the amount of demand that's coming here in the United States from increased manufacturing, from things like AI or data centers, the amount of electricity load is enormous. We must do this faster, and I think that's what the president is intending by declaring an energy emergency.
How long do you think it will take to get the Keystone pipeline in action, built properly and in action? How long?
Well, I think if you could eliminate the inefficiencies in the permitting process and frankly, clean up some of the judicial activity around this particular project, you could probably do this in about 2 years. It's a massive project, but look, this industry is very, very good at what it does, and it could do this very efficiently. Our challenge with projects like the Keystone Pipeline is that we have a whipsaw effect. One administration comes in and says, please move fast. The next one comes in and says, stop all action. And it's that whipsaw effect that slows down the financing of these projects.
I want to go back to liquefied natural gas and the whole nat gas industry and the emergency.
Sure.
Why would anyone want to stop the growth of LNG exports? Why would anyone want to interrupt the nat gas industry?
The only reason that I can think of, Stuart, is that you don't want to have natural gas being produced here in the United States or perhaps anywhere in the world because you have some concern about its emissions profile. So, as we've seen in the last administration, the implementation of this pause on LNG exports was not designed to clarify its impact on the environment. I think its real motive here was to shut down production of U.S. natural gas.
That's ridiculous. We've got enough natural gas and we can export enough natural gas to power the world. I mean, it's a lower carbon emission than coal or oil. What's wrong with it?
That's correct, Stuart. It not only is a lower emissions profile than heavier hydrocarbons like coal or perhaps even in developing countries wood, it's much more clean than that. What it provides here in America, Stuart, is what's called baseload electricity generation. Yeah. It means that you can keep the lights on 24/7 and you can do it affordably. As the president has noted, what we've seen here in the United States is the lack of pipeline capacity, and that's why in the Northeast, for instance, you pay higher electricity rates than some do in California.
But Senator Kaine has introduced this bill in the Senate to end the energy emergency. I take it that it's not going to pass in the Senate, which has a Republican majority. Is that accurate?
I think that's probably right, Stuart. We're doing things on the outside to educate senators and other policymakers. We've created a Restoring Energy Dominance coalition that's going to help put the messaging out there that energy is important. As we've talked about, you and I in the past, Stuart, it comprises roughly 6% of our GDP, but importantly, it's the first 6%. Everything else we do depends upon it.
Got it. Thanks very much for joining us, sir. We always appreciate it. Dan Brouillette, we'll see you again real soon. Thank you, sir.